Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. And if you're new, welcome to this wonderful space. I am so glad to have you all here. So glad. Guys, for those of you who do not know, I have a child and soon will be his birthday. And I was just thinking of all these years of being a mother, of raising my child, of guiding my child. Honestly, motherhood is the most and deepest learning journey one can ever experience. My opinion, because you get to realize it's not only about raising your child, raising your children, but growing alongside them. You're raising them and you're raising yourself in the process. Your patience, resilience, empathy, boundaries. I mean, you grow beyond your imaginations. And that's why you realize most mothers, I'm talking about mothers because I'm a mother. So yeah, so you get to hear some mothers say, I never thought I could do this thing. I never thought I could grow this way, mentally, emotionally, in every way you grow. Sometimes you even go beyond what you thought you could do or you were capable of. Can we talk about motherhood? I'm going to share some things that I have personally gotten to learn as I have been raising my child, but I would like to hear all about motherhood on your side. So can we talk about it? Because they say it takes a village to raise a child, and I believe even us sharing these experiences and what we have learned while growing and raising our children, I believe a parent could pick a thing or two. And I also believe that every parent is different and raises their own child in a different way, how they feel it's the safest and the best way for them and for their children. But at the same time, I know that as parents, we could pick a thing or two from another one. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about motherhood and let's pick one or two things from each other, right? So first of all, I'm going to start with one of my favorite topics, self-care. Yes, taking care of yourself while raising your children or your child. And no, it's not neglecting your children. Taking care of yourself isn't neglecting your children. In fact, I believe that taking care of yourself or prioritizing your self-care is also teaching them or encouraging them to honor their own needs in future. My opinion. As parents, especially when our children are very young, we sometimes feel guilty to even leave them for a few hours to go and take care of ourselves. And I know every parent, every mother has passed through this stage where you live for 2 hours and you feel like you just want to worry, you're anxious, you know. But I have come to learn that it's okay to sometimes leave your children or your child for even a few hours with a trusted, maybe your fellow parent or a trusted family member, to go and take care of yourself. Even if you'll just stay at home, but just being by yourself and taking care of yourself completely. It's not neglecting them. It's making sure that you're good so that you can be there fully for them without feeling exhausted. And I know it's easier said than done, especially when your child is still very young. But trust me, it's a very important part of parenting. because you're also teaching them, honestly, that taking care of yourself comes first so that you can be able to take care of your loved ones in a good mental space and happy space. In fact, I think taking care of yourself is the most important, and I stand to be corrected. It's the most important, in fact, as priority one while raising your child or your children. And that way, you're able to give your children the better part of you, not the exhausted part, not the neglected mother, nothing. In as much as we always want to give our children, all of us, and to put them first, I think it's very important to always put yourself first. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're okay so that you can be able to do good for your children, so that you can be able to be a good and healthy mother to your children. And like I said, I stand to be corrected, but I think self-care, taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and more, I think it's very, very, very important while raising your children. And in some circumstances, I think it's very, very okay to put yourself first. To first shut being mama so and so and think about I am so and so and so first. What do you guys think? And because you're talking about self-care, I recently did my things that I do on a monthly basis to fill my own cup. I'm going to put the link in the description below. So if you're interested in going to watch it, please do go and watch. And then let's also discuss and talk of what you do for yourself on a monthly basis or occasionally. Okay? Another thing that I have learned as a mother is that you cannot control your child. You guide your child. You model your child. Honestly, when you try to control your child, you will end up getting angry or disappointed every single time. Because these children, they are also human. They are own person. They have their own moods. They have their own thoughts. They have their own choices. They have their own goals. And even if sometimes they don't say out loud, which I think it's very important to be the safest space for your child, for him or her to be able to feel comfortable enough to say, to speak their mind. My sons is tells me everything. I tell you right now, if my son makes a mistake, he will come and he will tell me, Mama, this and this. When he gets a result at school, whether he passes or doesn't, he will come and tell me, even if he knows the consequences. If my son is happy, he will come and tell me. My son shares everything with me, everything with me. And I think it's very important as parents to be that person that your child can come to and share with you literally almost everything, if not everything. And to tell you, because I'm saying my son shares with me almost everything, there was, when he was still in lower primary, there was this kid in his class that was always bullying other kids, and there was a time he said something that wasn't good to him, and my son came and told me, and he went and told the teacher. And you know, they're given first warning, second warning, and then the parents is called. And then the first time, for me, when my son tells me something, I make sure I contact the teacher immediately. I wrote the teacher an email. And then the second time, this child stepped on my son and is my son's seatmate. And my child told him off and went again and told the teacher. Of course, it's the second time, so the child was called again and given a warning, and this time I didn't write the teacher anything. And then the third time, this child did not do it to my son, but to another child. And so the parent was called, of course, and all that. And all these times, my son always told me what was happening and all that. And then the parent was called, but still this child continued. And I know that children can be very mischievous and all that. But this child kept bullying, not only, I'll call it bullying because it kept either stepping on other kids or telling other kids, don't play with this one, or just, you know. And then, like a day before, this child pushed another child in the same class, obviously. The next day, my son went to class. Before the teacher came, the students were there, but the teacher was not yet there. My son went straight to this boy and stepped on his foot, like he had stepped on him before, and like he had stepped on his seatmate. And he didn't wait for the teacher to come to the class. He then went direct to the teacher and said, reported himself, that is. And of course, he was told, okay, that's not good, you know, da 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 da. But one thing, my son is very respectful, and to this point that my son had to do this, of course, it's something that had disturbed him then. I don't condone that, though. So anyway, when my son came, then later on, he came and told me what had happened. He told me, Mama, I went to school today and I stepped on so and so. I asked him, did he do anything to you? He said, no, Mama, but he has been doing these things to other kids. He did it to me. He did it to my seatmate. And, you know, he has been warned. His parent also came, but he has not changed. He keeps doing not so good things to other kids. So for me, I wanted to also do this to show him that it's not good what he does to other people, you know. And then I said, and then what happened? He said, and then when I stepped on him, all the other classmates were also saying that it's good and all that. I told him, but it's not what the other classmates said. What did you do then? We talked about it, and then he told me. I went, before the teacher came to the class, I went to the teacher and explained to the teacher, and then the teacher called both of us and spoke to us and all that. And he said, and I asked him, so how do you feel now? He said, Mama, it's not good what I did, but I feel it's good that I did that so that to show him that what he does to other people is not okay. And I immediately, of course, wrote an email to the teacher and told him, I do not condone what my child did, and I apologize also on his behalf. So I just spoke to the teacher about it, and of course I don't condone this, and I apologize on his behalf, and da 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 da. And the teacher responded and told me, oh, that my son is a very disciplined and respectful child, and he can understand that it did that. He doesn't condone it, and it's okay. He spoke to both of them, and that's solved. So that's it. And then, since then, my son came and told me, Mama, I don't want to mention the name, but he has really changed. He doesn't beat other kids. He doesn't step on other kids. And he always wants to play with me. You know, Mama, I even want to invite him for my birthday. And I said, wow. So it took my son stepping on him for him to completely change. But anyway, this is just to tell you that my son tells me literally everything. Even if he knows that he's going to get into trouble, he tells me. So I think it's really, really important that your child knows no matter the consequences, I am safe to share this with my with my parent. Because guess what? If your child is not able to share things with you, he will go looking for spaces where he feels safe enough to share this. And we all know today's world. Some people may pretend to be that safe space, but their intentions are not good enough, you know? So I think that's it's very important to being your children safe space, and to knowing that your child is a human, a different person also, different choices, different feelings, different everything. To finish this part, let's leave control, mothers. Control is literally an illusion, and let's lean more on guiding and raising our children with love and being their safe space, and just making sure we're good parents and planting the seeds and just trusting and praying to God that the seeds we plant will grow beautifully, that they will grow beautifully. And since I just mentioned praying for our children, the other thing that I have learned while raising my child is speaking life into your children. Speak life into your children. Number one, I do not call my son any names. I do not call myself any names. I do not shout ever at my child. No, my mom never ever shouted at me. So I do not like shouting at anyone, and I do not like being shouted at. I think it's very important to teach your children that shouting doesn't make you to be hard. You know, you could speak with very good intentions, but your tone plays a big role. And also teaching our children that to speak life into themselves and to see goodness in others also. You know, pray for your children. Pray even for generations to come. You know, not only your children, but your children's children and their generation and generations to come. Speak life into your children. That's one thing that I've learned. Just like my mom spoke life to me, I speak life to my child. You know, speak beautiful things to your child. You know, if your child has to hear beautiful praises about himself, let it first come from you as a parent before he gets to hear it from other people, you know. And I have realized my son is such a confident person, and everybody who knows my child, they even say that. They say how respectful my child is. They say how confident my son is. Like when my child comes to sometimes he passes by my work from school, and my colleague once told me, your child, when he comes in, the way he greets us, the way he speaks to you, he speaks with such confidence, you know. And that makes me so proud. My son is such a confident person, can hold a very good conversation, and that makes me really, really proud. You cannot tell my child that he is not handsome or is not this and this and this, because my son will not even listen to you. But what I'm also proud of mostly is that my son speaks lives also into himself. You will never catch my son saying anything negative about himself. And you see how sometimes children, they speak negative about other children. Not my son. I can tell you right now confidently, I have never had my son call another child out of name, you know, call another child a bad word or tell another child something bad, ever. And I have never had my son does not speak bad about himself, ever, ever. And this is because I also speak life into my child. I also do not call my son bad names. I do not, no matter what, I do not speak negatively about my son, whether with him, whether with others. It doesn't matter whether he's there or not. I do not. I do not. You know, and something else that I think that has really helped in this also, every night, I think I have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. Every night before we sleep, we of course talk about how our day was, and if we've done anything that isn't good to each other. And I let my child apologize on his own timing. I do not force my child, apologize now, no. And literally every time I do not force him, but literally when he does something, it doesn't even take so long. He comes and says, he apologizes, you know. But anyway, we do that, and then we pray. And then after praying, yes, we do pray every single night. And then after that, we speak one day, like yesterday night, we spoke about what we find good about each other. Like I can tell him, Anil, I find so good that you take care of yourself. You trim your nails without even me telling you. You always look clean. You apply your lotion even without me telling you to. You know, I find good that you take care of yourself. You know, I find great about you that you're confident, that you speak up for yourself. You know, if I say something that it doesn't sit right with my son will tell me, Mama, but this is not this way. Literally, I tell him I find good about this about you. I find good about you that you're very thoughtful. You think about even nature. You think about yourself. You think about other people. You pray for even other people. You know, and I find that to be really great. I just speak what I find good about him. I find good that you have a beautiful smile. You're so strong. I just speak good things about him, and he speaks good things about me. And the next day we speak about what we find good about ourselves. So he used to say what he finds good about himself. And we've done this literally since he was very young. Since he was very young. And this, I think, has also helped in building that confidence and having this positive mindset of seeing goodness in others and seeing goodness in you, in themselves. And one thing, my son, even if he doesn't do well at school or he does well at school, he always says, Mama, I know I did not get a good grade, but I have a chance to do better next time. Literally. And I am so proud of my son for that. And I am so proud of myself for guiding him into these, into this young man that is growing to be. And I'm also very grateful to my mom, because most things that I teach my son, I picked from my mom, my mother, my Malkia mama. Like my mom, I never ever had my mom shout at anyone. Ever, literally. My mom always spoke calmly. My mom, yeah, I think it's very important to speak positively to your child and the people around you, because children, they pick these things. They pick, yes, they're on human, but they pick on the things that you do, that you say, the environment, how the environment is. I think that plays a big part in who they also grow to become. And so it's important to speak life into our children, whether they hear it or not, and even when they are hearing it, to speak positively on our children, to tell our children how beautiful they are, how handsome they are, how proud you are of them. It's very, very important. It's extremely important. And most importantly, praying for your children, speaking goodness to your children, asking God for guidance so that you can be a good parent, a good role model to your children, to your child. I think it's so, so important. Another important thing is you learn to forgive, and most importantly, forgive yourself, because you're a mother, you're also human, you will make mistakes. Like we said, it's a learning process, and while you're learning, you will definitely make mistakes. You will make mistakes. So forgive yourself no matter what you do, and just get up and just raise your children with love, knowing that you will make mistakes along the way, and you have to forgive yourself. Give yourself grace. You're doing an amazing, amazing job. Another thing, I know as parents, sometimes it's very difficult for us to say no to our children, but boundaries is a form of love also, and teaching your children self-respect and self-love. It's okay to say no to your children. It's totally okay. No matter how they react, it's okay to say no. Boundaries protect you and protects the child also, and also teaches them, like I said, self-respect, and that boundaries, that saying no is a form of safety also. I have also gotten to learn that you get to rediscover wonder. Should I say it that way? You get to find joy in the simplest things. Literally, you get excited over the little things. Like I am already getting excited about my son's birthday. Like he is already getting excited. I get excited about just the simple things. The things that we never saw as, or we maybe didn't get excited over before. We start getting excited about them. The things that we never even saw as a big deal, we start seeing them as wow. And I think that's so beautiful. Motherhood is such a rewarding and beautiful experience, and I am so grateful that God blessed me to be a mother, that God chose me to be a mother, that God guides me, loves me enough to see me worthy of being a mother, to guiding me, to holding my hand, to teaching me to be a better person and a better mother every single day. And I pray for every single mother out there. I pray that you always know that it's God, it's been God, and it will forever be God, and you can always seek God in times that you feel like, oh, am I doing this right? Because yes, as parents, as mothers, we do question ourselves sometimes. And I pray that God always, every time you think about that God always removes this doubt and shows you that you're doing great. That you're doing great. I pray that we always be wonderful mothers to our children. I pray that our children grow up to be incredible human beings, and that they always look back and know that we as mothers did wonderfully in raising them. I pray that we find joy in the little things as we raise our children. Anyway, let's talk about motherhood. I'm so excited to hearing all about what you feel or you think about motherhood. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys on the next one. But before then, like always, I will leave you guys with a Bible verse. Bye.